Hello and thanks for watching. My name is Shelley Reynolds. My knitting is done under the heading From Sewpress to Whiteside, and I also help parents on my work with longrangeparenting.org. Today I want to show you something that works really well for younger children. A lot of kids like to do finger knitting, and that'll be next, but this is a good way to begin. It's finger crochet. So before you can start anything, you got to have a loop. So I want to show you some things about tying knots. So whenever you want to do a standard overhand knot, you take your end over the other string and you poke the end under and back up into the hole, into the circle. And that makes an overhand knot. But that's not going to work for finger crochet because it'll get too small and it'll pop out when they're trying to work with it. So what else is another way to make an overhand knot, but one that works for finger crochet, is fold your yarn over, and then you do the same thing, except this time you take the folded end and you treat it just like an end and you put it in the hole. And when you pull it, it makes a loop. It does not come out, which is very helpful for young children. If they're trying to do all the wraps that you're about to see in a minute and the knot comes out at the end, they can't start over again, and that is very frustrating for them. So I made it a little small, so I'm going to put it on my pinky. And then you take the working end of the yarn, not the end that you tied with, but the working yarn. And you lay it over your finger, that's called the wrap, and then you flip with the one that's already on your finger. That's a little tricky at first. So that is your old loop. Here comes your wrap from your working yarn, and you flip. And that's how I teach the children. I'd say wrap and flip. Wrap and flip. And they're on their way. As soon as they get those two, they can go. Wrap and flip. Now, a lot of the time they'll wrap too hard, and they do like that. And you have to remind them that really a wrap is just laying the yarn on your finger. And that's it. You don't have to pull hard. And then the flip just keeps you going. And that is basically finger crochet. So when they're ready to stop, I'm going to show you what it looks like. When they're ready to stop, you just cut the end, and then that end goes through the loop, just like a regular overhand knot. You would pull it all the way through, and it will tie it into a knot. I don't want to tie it off just yet because I want to show you another thing we can do. So I'm going to do several more here. And they really can get this fast, especially if they're in a hurry and they want to see how long they can make it. One student I had made his 266 inches before he was finally satisfied and ready to learn something else with it. So this will get you started, and this is your chain. The chain's fairly long, and you can use the chain to chain itself. So you can do, again, put it on your finger, but instead of using the working yarn, you can use the chain to be your wrap. And here's the flip. And you just use your chain for that. Oops, I popped it off. You can see that part's not easy. What this will do for them is make a nice, thick kind of rope, which uses up about a third. All your work turns into about a third of the length that it was, but it's a pretty workable rope. So if you're ever in a hurry and you need to have one, and you've got some string around, it makes something pretty thick. This is about as thick as my finger, and when you pull it tight, it's about half, but it has a lot of tensile strength. And again, if you're done, you poke that end into the loop, you pull, and that makes a knot. So those are two ways to work with finger crochet. And next time I'll show you more about finger knitting, which is a whole other way to make a nice stretchy rope.